Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. I'm here with Gillian Love from the LCBO. Nice to have you back with us again.
Thank you, Leslie.
We
nice
loved your segment last week so much, we brought you back again.
Yay!
Because you're full of information.
Love coming back.
Yes. So we're talking about kind of what's trending out there when it comes to spirits and sort of, I guess, some information that some people just don't know about certain of these items, some of the flavor profiles.
Yeah, it's all gin. Gin is a spirit that takes its flavor from infusion of botanicals. So they distill the gin, and then during the second distillation, they add a certain either like a botanical of some kind, like either an orange peel, an angelica root, juniper berry. The main ingredients is usually juniper berry, but the whole idea is it's very, very aromatic. But no two gins are the same. It depends on the producer and the distiller and how they want to make their gins. Some are very, very floral and soft and elegant and feminine, and others are quite citrusy and spicy, so it can range. And everyone out there has their favorite gin, but there's a lot of new ones on the market that I wanted to bring in today and show you.
And I think one thing with people who don't drink gin, they kind of just think it all tastes the same.
Yes.
Right?
It's like anything. You know, someone who doesn't drink wine thinks they all taste the same.
That's true.
It's really, there is a difference, and there is a difference between tasting and drinking, and that's thinking. And so you really need to, if you buy yourself something new or you want an artisanal gin or something a little more upscale, really take the time and really nose it and taste it.
Sure.
And you really will notice a difference.
And it might open up some people to gin that have never tried it before.
Exactly.
If you get a chance to try some different ones here as we go through them.
Yeah, and we all know that gin is the classic martini, is made with gin and vermouth. So, but they can take a different spin on it depending on the flavors. So we're going to start right at the beginning with the Beefeater, and that's your classic bartender's go-to.
Yes.
Every bar has it. It's a very nice gin. It's the London style gin, which is dry, infused with juniper berry, very classic style.
Yes.
Moving along, we've got the Scottish gin made in Scotland, Hendrick's. And it's made with infused cucumber and rose petals, so it's
you
very
can actually
soft.
really taste that flavor.
You can, yeah, and with these flavors in gins, you can make really neat cocktails.
I was just going to say,
you could do a nice cucumber garnish cocktail with.
So you add a little bit of what's already there to the drink, and you can really bring out those flavors, right?
You can, and this is a really, really nice one to have because it's a very rich tasting and very unique.
Okay.
The Boodles is a classic British gin, again London dry. It's been around for a million years, and it's back again, and it's a delicious one. It's made with grain. Some gins are made with grapes instead of grain, so so it just depends. They can really experiment. The Tanqueray is a big secret, Leslie. Top secret. They don't tell you what they infuse the gin with.
And no one's ever figured it out?
No, but you know what? It's either orris root or angelica root, or there's probably some lemon in there, some Spanish lemon.
I'd be keeping it a secret too.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
It can be anything though. I mean, it can be white grapefruit. It can be, anything at all. This is a really neat gin. Both of these are Dillon's, and they're very local, and I'm very proud to talk about Dillon's gin. Because
we've had these guys on the show before.
Yeah, they're local, and they're so passionate about what they do. Nice artisanal distillery down on the QEW, just in Beamsville. And he has sourced his botanicals from all local ingredients. He infuses the gin, he makes a gin with grape spirit instead of grains, and then he infuses with all the local ingredients. So really unique, very, very interesting, very different. If you've ever had a chance to get down there, they're really cool guys.
It is. It's a great shop, and they have all kinds of bitters, so they make really cool cocktails.
Yeah, really different out there stuff, like really unique. Yeah. And the Rose Gin is another one too that's just come on the market. They also do rye. They do like all different kinds of spirits as well.
Right, and they really help you out with that because some people don't know what to do with gin, right? If you are trying to experiment, you want to have this as part of your, your at-home collection. You're like, what am I going to do with this? I need to know what if someone's coming over and they want to have a gin cocktail. They can give you some really great ideas.
Yes, they can. And there you have a great website too with all kinds of different drinks in there. The Bombay Sapphire, another classic gin made. This gin is a little more on the citrusy and spicy side, a little bit stronger flavor profile. It's great for a traditional martini, or if you're making a Tom Collins or anything like that, it would work work really well.
Okay.
And then the one beside it that's pink is an American gin that's made with rose petals, or infused rose petals.
That's why it's pink.
Yes,
Okay.
and so it gets the color from
That's
that
neat.
infusion. And they say that although the pink might fade, the flavor profile will get stronger. So you can hold that gin. You can keep that gin for 6 months, a year, and it'll just get better. So that's an interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to know.
Bit of information on that one. And the last two, well, this one here is that one. That gin there is fairly new.
Okay.
And it's made with orange rind and cinnamon.
Oh,
so they have
nice.
cinnamon bark and orange rind, so you get that spiciness from the cinnamon and the nice citrus from the orange rind. So that's a really nice one for any kind of orange drink, like if you're making with orange juice or any fruit juices. And the last one is the Angava Premium Gin, and the color is yellow. The distiller was he thought he would take the color out because during the second distillation, that's when the color is stripped out of gin, but he left it in, and it's kind of unique.
Oh, okay.
Really interesting. It's made way up in north in the Yukon area, and all the botanicals are sourced right from the local, like within a 10-mile radius of where the distillery is. So
sometimes it's neat the stories, right?
Yeah,
even, because some of them go way back.
I know, and that one's really feminine and really soft. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, so it's really unique. So gin is not all all the same.
So we talked a little bit about when you kind of alluded to this rose one that the flavor will stay, and we talked 6 months to a year. But if someone was to have these at home and they don't drink them often, how long can you have something like this kicking around?
They can have years. It's
Okay.
spirits.
Because a lot of people do.
40% alcohol.
Right?
The only thing you have to remember is if it's a cream-based liqueur or something like that, it has a 6-month shelf life.
And it needs to go in the fridge,
and it needs to go in the fridge.
People forget that, and then it comes out in lumps.
But whiskeys, scotches, Irish whiskeys, Canadian whiskeys, gins, vodkas, they'll last and last and last.
That's always
you don't have to worry. It's a good investment, and you'll always have it.
And then that's the thing. You want to make sure, again, part of your collection at home that you do have something like this, because I know I've had my cousin come over and he had a certain request for, and we all went out. Let's get over to the LCBO.
Yes. You can also cook with gin too, Leslie.
Okay.
Like you can do a shrimp on like a fried shrimp with gin infused in it, and because of the aroma and the flavors, they're so nice in food.
See, people wouldn't think that. Last question for you before we go. When it comes down to it, sometimes people will say if you're mixing a drink, you don't want to use a really, really great alcohol. But that's kind of not true, right? You want to have something good, right? You want to have these flavor profiles obviously matter.
And you're having a cocktail, you're having something good, have fresh ice, buy something good.
Yes.
If
you're not drinking all the time.
No,
right?
and if you're making it with fruit juices and pops and things like that, that's different because the flavor you won't even taste much of the flavor. But when you're having a straight cocktail, then get something good.
Awesome. Good information. As always, thanks Gillian from the LCBO. That's it for now. We'll have more TERRA at home to come.
Live color fully at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're in this beautiful property here today for TERRA, and I'm here with Dave Maciulis from Natural Landscape Group. You always bring us to the coolest spots, and we found yet another one, some private home. We've just
come into? Well, they let you in once because you did all this.
Yes, yeah.
Wow, you got to design their property for them in their backyard.
Yeah, they wanted that kind of outdoor entertainment area and kind of lifestyle of a little resort in their own backyard.
You must love that more and more people are starting to recognize that we need to hang on to our outdoors and enjoy them while we can, right? Like more and more people, and it's not, I think a lot of people, I think that's the big point we're going to talk about today, is that a lot of people feel that it's out of their range. I don't think I could ever do that. It's probably way too expensive for me, but that's not the case.
No. I mean, you know, you can slide scale your options based on the choice selections that you make. I mean, you know, look at the outdoor kitchens, which are becoming really, really popular in and a demand in our design work. And so we found out that, you know, I'm old school, concrete, stone, build it all up from the ground up like that. But now with some new technologies and innovations like steel frame, rock board, and stucco is price point down here over the old school where we did concrete foundations and block work. And so now we're making it cost effective to build the base work of a outdoor kitchen, but then you can still kind of go classy on the countertop. So here we've got the black granite, you know, so it does give that little price point up a nicer look.
Yeah.
But
so pick and choose where you want to, you know, where once you've set your budget,
that's right.
then I mean, you will know firsthand what materials they can kind of play around with, and this is exactly what they did.
Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
And then
so we're talking about the outdoor kitchen concept because so many people, you know, everybody when you're at a party or you have people over, everyone seems to hang around in the kitchen because a lot of times the hosts are in the kitchen doing their thing. Why not put the kitchen outdoors? Why not have the seating around it?
Yeah.
And then you're having your cocktail and you're cooking and you're communicating, people are jumping in the pool, and it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the cases of adding a bar sink, like the fridge right behind you is rated for outdoor Canadian weather. So you can put your drinks out there, you can have your trash organizer, you know, that way you can recycle for all those avid recyclers. And then the kitchen appliances are now expanding so widely that you can have anything that you want. You can have the big outdoor barbecue, you can have the side burners, you can have the top mounts, grills.
Right.
Yeah, there's so many things. So if you're really an avid cooker or you just love to entertain, we can customize anything you want, big or small. For any type of entertainment backyard that you want.
You know, like the built-in barbecues, take your barbecue, your existing barbecue, and you can build it right in, right? And,
that's right, yeah.
And that's the neat part. So I think sometimes it's hard for people to visualize. They look at this blank slate in their backyard, and it may not be that big, and they're thinking, what can I do with this to make it a great spot where people want to come? And I know that you can create privacy screens, you can create a spot no matter how big or small your property is that someone's going to want to spend time in.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So when people are talking to you, I mean, you have to help think for them sometimes of, you know, they would never visualize to put this over here on this side of the yard. So you kind of have to look from the big picture.
Well, we ask them all sorts of questions like how many people you want to entertain.
Sure.
What are the spaces that we're limited to? In fact, we had some challenges here with some setback rules with the bylaws. So we actually had to work within some confined areas.
Okay.
It doesn't look confined because exactly what you pointed out, we pushed everything off to the outside, which actually leaves a lot more room for dining, entertaining. But what it really does nicely here is it connects the host to the guests. It keeps them close together.
Yes.
It's not like you have to come from inside, bring out trays of food. It's all here for you right outside.
And the best part is you still managed to think that, hey, you know what, we don't want it too far away from the main kitchen either, just in case.
Yeah, you forget something, oh, it's quick jog in.
Exactly. So when we're talking about these materials that you used, you know, how is this going to do in the wintertime? When we're talking January, and how are all these appliances? How is this fridge going to do? Do you have to cover this up in the winter?
No, you know, 304 stainless steel is the, you know, stainless steel that never rusts, it never rots, it's lasts forever, it weathers quite well. And then the stucco, we actually picked up the stucco on the front of this home. And we actually had a perfect match to it. So it's really rated for outdoor housing.
Okay.
So it's the same stuff that you put on the houses. And then of course granite, lasts the test of time.
It's going to do its thing. So even the finish on top, like it's going to stay like that.
Yeah.
It's going to, wow.
Yeah, it's been polished. And there's so many selections to choose from. You can have limestone, you can have granite, you can have it polished, you can have it almost sandblasted to have a little bit of a texture to it.
Right.
And there's some real fantastic outdoor porcelain tile. Like this is the porcelain tile you would use in a home.
Okay, I've
They're
seen
now
that.
rating it for outdoor countertop use.
Okay, so it's not going to crack during frost and ice and all that type of thing. Because we, you know, it's hard to imagine this beautiful environment right now, but this at one point is going to be covered in ice and snow, and Not that we want to talk about that, but you know, how wonderful, right, to have this. So this is just incorporated into, again, a design that sort of envelops the whole backyard, and we're going to talk about some of the other areas a little bit later on. But it's really thinking about what you need.
Yes.
So some people might not need that outdoor sink, but once you see that, it's like, that's actually a cool idea to have.
Well, you know what? Just a quick rinse of the glasses and make another drink.
Yes.
You don't have to run inside and get more glasses or store them outside. So, and something like this is so small and compact, it still leaves it for buffet space, you know, on the countertops.
Right.
But it's one
right.
of those necessities that everybody should have.
Yeah, actually, and you know, and I think a lot of people, there's certain things that you would be able to think for people. Some people will not be able to necessarily visualize themselves outside and cooking and preparing drinks. So you have to kind of remind people of what they're going to be using this for.
Yeah.
So you're not just barbecuing and needing a little side area there. So what else am I going to be putting out here? As you mentioned, creating a buffet style so people can come and grab their food. You want to have counter space if you're going to do it.
Even if you're chopping up food or here's some fresh fruit, we
Right.
actually plan, we figure out the ergonomics of space, how much you want for the food, what kind of food do you prep, do you need a cutting board area? So these are the things that we all think out through outdoor kitchen technologies.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then again, and obviously it all comes together with the color and the design, and it makes it beautiful now because you have so many options. Are there any materials that you just can't go there right now with outdoors?
We've had some people ask about using wood
Wood.
countertops, and I really steer away from those because of the cupping and the bowing that can happen with wood. So we try to give them all sorts of options. We've actually experimented with outdoor concrete. So just like the concrete you would do on a patio, you could do with countertops. That is cost effective.
Okay.
The porcelain tile I've already mentioned, but I think all in all, when you're dealing with outdoor natural stone, you'll never go wrong with it.
Well,
so.
because you're dealing with those, I mean, that's natural to its environment, right? So
That's right.
it's used to being out there anyway. So it makes sense to have this as part of the program. Now, when it comes to storage, I mean, are there? Yeah, I guess it's up to the people whether they want to store anything out here.
Yeah,
so
dry storage units. You can actually get stainless steel cupboards, and they have little shelves. So one of the things, just because of outdoor critters, we advise them put them in little Tupperware totes, so you can pack all your, paper plates, red Solo cups, the utensils for cooking, pack it away, put it in the dry storage. It's very useful.
You forget about that until they come for a visit. It's like being at a cottage, right? You go up to a cottage after a while, and you're like, oh, we had visitors. You can't leave anything out, right, with these guys. So they love the outdoor kitchen too. So you just have to make sure you clean them up after yourself. And you know, we're in a beautiful environment right now, beautiful home, beautiful property, but you can do this anywhere, and I think that's the big message. So you can come in and fix it and design and make someone's backyard gorgeous.
It's one of my favorite things to design.
Oh, it's probably so exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Good stuff. All right, that's it for now. We'll have more Terra at home after this.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to Terra at Home. I'm back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra restaurant in Hamilton, and we have
something a little bit
interesting
different
dish you're making for us today, helping people out at home to try it out themselves, maybe.
Yes. So we're going to be making Gravlax, which is a Scandinavian dish. Now, what's interesting about it is the salmon that you're going to use for this. Gravlax you can buy, but you're going to pay a premium for it. And I'm going to show you how simple this really is. And anybody can do it at home. There's only a couple things that are very key. Number one, you have to make sure that the salmon that you're using is very, very fresh. You want to talk to your fishmonger, make sure that it's a sushi grade. And ask them how long they've had it on top of it. okay? You want something that, you know, they just got in that night, that day, that night before, something like that. You don't want anything that's been sitting around a couple days.
You don't want to mess around with that.
No, because essentially what you're doing is you're going to be curing the salmon with salt, okay, a little bit of sugar and some other herbs and spices and stuff like that, and then you're putting it in your fridge for about 48 hours. Then you're going to slice it and you're going to eat it raw. Okay, so it has to be a very high quality,
sushi grade,
very high quality salmon. Okay.
See, that's what makes that right there makes
Scares
people panic.
Yes.
Right.
It does. You know what? It's a pretty general rule that when it comes to fish, any predatory fish you're good with. Okay, with the exception of shark, which will pretty much eat anything.
Right.
So you can eat almost any predatory fish raw. Again, freshness is key.
Okay.
If it starts smelling like fish, definitely don't use it.
Okay.
Now, the one thing that people will make a mistake on, they think that this extends the life of the fish, and it doesn't. Okay, so it's not going to last any longer in your fridge just because you started to cure it. Okay?
Good tip.
So
I could see how people would feel that way.
yeah,
I really could.
Because there's a lot of things that you do salt in, you know, and you can
Like
just dry it
from
and cure
back
it
in the
and cure
day.
it.
That's what they did, right? Okay.
This is not one of those dishes. This is something that you're going to cure it in 48 hours. You want to eat it within the next 48 hours. After that, think about cooking it or doing something else with it.
Okay. Yep. Absolutely.
So, first thing we did, we took the salmon, we rinsed it off, and then we pat it dry. Now, what I've done is I brought a fairly large container, but a clear one, so you can see on TV what we're doing here. But your best bet is to put it in a stainless steel or something to put it in the fridge, just so, because steel will keep it a little bit colder than plastic.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
But I brought this along. So, fairly simple recipe, simple ratios. You're looking at 2 parts of salt to 1 part of sugar. Okay, I find that works best as far as the combination. You can fiddle with it. If you find it a little too salty, then, you know, change it up a little bit. But I find 2 parts to 1 part works really well. And the salt you want to use is either a sea salt or a kosher salt. Okay. You don't want to use an iodized salt. An iodized salt will give it a little bit of a tinny taste afterwards and really a little bit of a bitterness that you want to avoid. Okay.
That's good to. That's
So,
a good thing to know too.
traditional salt, sugar, dill, and away it goes.
Okay.
I like changing things up, so I've also brought along horseradish root, ginger, and coriander.
Oh, that's gonna give it some nice flavor.
Yeah, so we can change, and that's where you start playing around with it and changing it up a little bit and seeing, you know, what you like and try different combinations.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So first thing you do is we're gonna take that salmon and we're gonna put that salt on.
See, I would have thought you would be slicing it up, but you're just using it as a whole piece.
You use it as a whole piece, cure it as a whole piece, and then slice it once it's done.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So this is kind of similar to sort of that Spanish sort of style of ceviche, right?
Ceviche, yeah.
Where you're sort of, again, kind of cooking.
In an acid.
In an acid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're using the salt here too, and what the salt does is the salt essentially starts breaking down the fat that's in the salmon, as well as drawing out the moisture.
Okay.
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 So we're gonna put a little bit of sugar.
You can see why a lot of people would just leave it to the chefs, right? Because you do just worry,
yeah.
but it's worth trying. I mean, again, as you
is.
say, just use fresh fish, use it within a short period of time.
Yep. And then when it comes out of after 48 hours after it's been curing, if you take it out and it smells like fish, just cook it. Make sure you don't eat it. If it doesn't smell like fish, you've done it right.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Yes.
All right,
Absolutely.
so we have our salt and our sugar on there. Now, coriander is very strong, so we're just gonna give it just a pinch on this. And
Yeah, it doesn't
then
take much, does it,
I'm
Mike?
gonna take our box grater
Okay.
and we're gonna shave a little bit of ginger. This one's really soft.
It smells good.
Nice and fresh. It'll give it a little bit. And what I like about the ginger is you're adding ginger and dill, so you get a little bit of that lemon dill flavor, which salmon goes really well with.
Yes.
All right, and then we're gonna take our horseradish root. We're gonna shave that as well.
Okay. So normally, as you say, the traditional way is to just do it with the salt and the sugar, and that's it?
The salt and sugar, and that's it,
Okay.
and dill.
And the dill.
And the dill,
Okay.
okay? So we have a little bit of the ginger, a little bit of the horseradish root, and then you're gonna take dill, and you're gonna use a lot of dill.
A lot. Oh.
And you're gonna pack this in.
Oh, look at that. I was not expecting that.
You really wanna get that in to the fish, all around it, okay? And what happens is the dill, as it sits and that moisture comes out and the fat starts breaking down, the dill will absorb and infuse into the fish. Okay, so what you're doing is you're pulling out moisture and you're infusing with another flavor. This way, like I said, is going to give it a real, you're going to get a little bit of sharpness from the ginger.
Yes.
A little bit of heat from the horseradish, and then you got that nice savoriness of the dill.
Okay, okay, and that little bit of coriander in there.
A little bit of coriander.
Just, as you say, just go light first so that you don't
Go light
overwhelm the dish. But
and there's a lot of different ones that you can use. Like I use coriander. The other ones that work really well is caraway works really well.
Okay.
I've heard people using fennel seed as well. So now if you're going to use fennel seed, you want to grind it down. You want it in that kind of consistency.
Yes,
okay.
First just a big seed on top.
Yeah, you don't want those seeds. So you just grind it down and then put it in. But what key is to make sure that you do the salt first and the sugar, and then add your other flavors on top of that. That way the salt is right onto the fish and starts doing its job.
So are you covering this up right now?
We're going to cover it, and we're going to throw it into the fridge, and you leave it for 48 hours.
48 hours. And then eat it right away.
And then eat it within 48 hours. Take it out, shave it, and away you go.
All right, so we're going to do 48 hours in about 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Live color fully at TERRA, where color lives.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra restaurant in Hamilton. And we've just been doing this dish that a lot of people are afraid of making. But over a 40-hour period, if you use fresh fish, sushi grade, you can do it.
You're good to go. Yes. So this is one that we did a couple days ago, the Gravlax. So we have that dill in it. You can see that it's completely covered in the dill. Okay. So the other thing you got to be concerned about is the knife that you're going to use, because you want to shave this as thin as possible. Okay. So let me get a piece of this out.
Because that was the thing that I noticed when you were doing it at the beginning, is that you do prepare it all as one big whole piece of fish, and then you're slicing it later on.
That's right.
So is there a reason why you wouldn't slice it first? Wouldn't it actually cure faster?
It would be hard to get the salt. You'd end up having salt all the way through. And then it might come out a little bit too salty for you.
All right.
Okay. So what we have here is a little bit of this horseradish. I'm going to take some of that off. And what I have is some Belgian endive, so we're going to come up with a plating for this. Now, traditionally, again, this is a Scandinavian dish, so traditionally this dish is done with a almost like a dill aioli, dill aioli. I changed it up. I made a saffron instead.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that is like bright yellow. Look at that. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, so
it's like egg yolk almost.
It's like egg yolk. And we're just going to shave that nice and thin.
Oh, so really thin. So yes, the sharpness of the knife is very important.
Very, very important.
Okay, so you're just gonna put it in there. That's great. I like the idea of putting it in the endive.
Yeah, and it gives a nice little appetizer that you can eat. There we go.
Okay.
And you just want to keep on doing that and serve it up. It's a great little dish. Now, I did make, so what we have there is, this is our pizza dough that we make at the restaurant.
Yep.
And we just rolled it out a little thinner. We brush it with some oil, put a little bit of kosher salt onto it. So we're going to do it with a chip as well.
Okay. All right, so you can also grab this recipe on our website at terragreenhouses.com. And so are you just going to put a little bit of this on top?
Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of aioli on those ones. And away we go.
All right, very good. Okay, well, I hope you try it this weekend. Try it next weekend. Give it a whirl. Be brave. You can do it. Mark says you can do it.
It's, like I said, it's all about the freshness of the fish.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chef Mark.
Thank you.
Very good. I'm just going to eat these.
Yeah.
Have yourself a good one.